Hello, my friends. Welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today, man, I am so stinking excited about this project. We are going to plant the garden boxes here at the house at the new terrace gardens. I'm so excited. So, if you are a faithful follower of Creekside and you know that my plan from the very beginning for this season was to plant the garden boxes. We have 5 of the tall, modern garden boxes from Vego. I was going to plant them with dwarf zinnias and cosmos. Start them from seed. Well, yeah, it's what, June basically now, and the seeds still have not been put in the ground. And we do have a very large event happening at the end of June with the Creekside Signature Experience, and I need these boxes with flowers for the Signature Experience. So it has been like weighing on my mind because I have not gotten the seeds planted. It's just life, y'all. It just happens, right? There is grace in gardening. So what do? We pivot. We change courses just a little bit. I didn't know that I always wanted to do cut flowers in here and have a big flower display this season instead of vegetables. Next year, maybe we do vegetables. I don't know. So I have gathered all of my materials, and yes, we are going to jam pack these boxes with tons of flowers. It is going to be stunning. So what I have here is just 1 or 2 plants, not too many, right? Just a couple. So I have a plan, literally a planting plan. That is rare for me. I actually have a plan, but my idea is that we're going to have more height. We're not going to have a lot of trailing because I don't want to hide my boxes, y'all. I love those beautiful boxes. I don't want to hide them. I want more upright things, mounded things. So let's just run through the plants right quick. So all 4 of the outside boxes, so there's 2 on this side and then there's 2 on that side. They're going to be planted identical. The one in the middle has that Rise Up Amberness Rose. She gets her own design. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But in those 4 outside boxes, in the center, dead center, the main thing is going to be the Suncredible Saturn. Sunflower is that continuous reblooming sunflower. Has that nice bicolor to it. All of these are massive pollinator attractors. Your bees, your hummingbirds, your butterflies, they're gonna love all of these plants. So we have Suncredible. Then I need some blue. So we're going with Rockin' Blue Suede Shoes Salvia. Huge, popular one for the hummingbirds. They go nuts over this. So we're gonna have those. Of course, we have to have Vermillionaire, another #1 top plant to attract the hummingbirds, but also your honeybees and your bumblebees. So we've got Vermillionaire. We've got the Angel Face, perfectly pink because I just love this pink. I think it is a beautiful plant. I love that we have the pinks and the oranges and the blues and the yellows all together. Massive color here. So we've got the perfectly pink. She's gonna go in. Then we've got, I do have 2 kind of low, if you want to say trailing, you can call them those. So this is the Mojave Yellow Portulaca. I was so surprised when we first started growing this plant how much the bees love this yellow Portulaca. So these are going to go in the front center of the boxes, a little pop of color. Then on the back side, kind of on the counter side of the yellow Mojaves, we are going to do the Blue My Mind XL Ovobulus. Some more blue, really sweet. Also going to plant this Ovobulus in the container that is in front of the center box. So that will be just a monoculture planting of that Blue My Mind XL. Then you got to have a little bit of white. So we're going to go with Diamond Frost to get that nice kind of light, airy look. We even could have done the Angel Face white Angelonia if we wanted to. But since I already have the pink, I decided to switch up and do the Diamond Frost. Nice, light, airy. And these are nice attractors for like even those little tiny pollinators that we don't think about. Those little tiny beneficial wasps, they love this plant as well. And then last but certainly, oh nope, it's not last. Next, we have the Sunstar Rose Penta. Of course, we use this a lot in the Signature Garden this year. It is a great plant. I love this plant. So we're going to use those as well. You can see we're going to use quite a few of those. Now, last but not least, we're going to also put in another Kufia. This is the new one this year. This is, of course, that Totally Tempted richly red. I mean, look at this, y'all. Isn't it gorgeous? And I decided to use this one because, as I've told you quite a few times, a couple of weeks ago, I was in the greenhouse working, and a monarch butterfly came up, landed on this Kufia, and was drinking to her little heart's content. And so, of course, I am trying to attract those monarchs and all the butterflies in this garden. And so why not just go ahead and add this red? So yes, I am doing reds and pinks and yellows and oranges and blues and hot pinks. I mean, it is going to be a beautiful kaleidoscope of colors in here, which I am so excited about. I was talking with Cece this morning when I was gathering all the plants, and I was kind of asking, you know, bouncing some ideas off of her. And she goes, well, you know, it's kind of an unconventional color pairing. And I was like, Cece, you should know I'm unconventional, especially when it comes to my cottage garden area. Give me the color. What do the pollinators, what do those beneficial insects, those wasps, those hummingbirds, those butterflies, what do they want? That's what I'm going to give them. And that's what I love, because that tends to be my, I just want color, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna be unconventional. Now, in the center box that has that Rise Up Amberness Rose, we're gonna have some fun on that one too. So what we're going to do is I have 4 hanging baskets right here. This is that Supertunia Mini Vista White. We're going to take them out of the hanging baskets. It is the best hack ever. We're going to take them out and we're going to plant them on the 4 corners of that box, okay? So this is going to be really the only plant that's going to have that really well, it's my only petunia here. It's going to have that mounded trailing habit, but not crazy trailing. So it's not going to really hide the boxes a lot, but it'll get that fun pop of white, so pure white. And then what we're going to do is come in and just mass plant the new unplugged So White. And as a perfect example, you can see Mr. Bumblebee right here. There's another one back on the other one. They are already attracted to this plant. We got massive amounts of rain the last 2 days, so I know that my little pollinators are ready to eat. And so we're going to do mass planting of the unplugged white around the rows and in between these Supertunia Mini Vista Whites. Of course, I've got my tool belt with all my tools. I've got the continuous release fertilizer, the biotone. All of that will go in before we plant the plants. But before we do anything with the plants, we've got some work to do. So what I have here is, one, you can see I literally have my plan. Yes, it's in a plastic bag because it's been raining. So I've got my plan on how to put everything in the ground. So we've got that. We're going to top off the boxes with some soil because, of course, you know, this being annuals and you pull plants out, you lose some soil. So we're going to top off. We're going to use the black gold. This is that natural organic raised bed mix. Man, this stuff is great. The annuals respond great to this. And it is organic, certified organic. So if I ever decide to put vegetables in here or herbs or fruit or whatever, then I don't have to worry about it. We've got organic soil. So we're going to top off all of the boxes. And then we're going to hook up some irrigation. So we have irrigation in the boxes. It's just not hooked up. So as you can see, each of the boxes has their irrigation tube sticking out of it. So what we're going to do is after we get the soil in, then we're going to come through and go ahead and connect. So yesterday I went to Site One. Site One is a professional landscape supply company. It's open to the public. So this is the 1/2 inch drip line, and it has emitters every 12 inches. So you can see oh, that was a speck of dirt. Never mind. Here we go, right here. So there is an emitter, and so you can see them right here. So every 12 inches, there will be a dripper. So we're going to put this in, and then of course I have my irrigation toolbox. I keep this in Johnny. It was the best thing that ever happened. And so we have got the irrigation staples. This is what's going to hold that drip line down. So we've got that. I've got couplings, I've got tees, I've got elbows in here somewhere. So all of my supplies are right here. So whenever I have an irrigation issue, I can just grab my box and off we go. So we're going to get all of that hooked up. All 5 boxes are going to have that drip tubing in there. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to have fun planting. So my friends, get ready. I'm already filthy because it is, like I said, it was raining. So you're gonna see on the camera that I'm already dirty. That's great. It's not gardening until you get dirty. So we're gonna get the soil out, get the irrigation hooked up, get the plants laid out. I'll see you back here in some time. We're just gonna have fun in the garden, my friends. All right, my friends, so the hard work is over and the fun is about to begin. So I got all the boxes topped off with the soil. So the vast majority of it is that black gold, that raised bed mix. We ran out, like there's literally no more on the property. So one of the boxes, they were a little exceptionally low. So I had to add a total of 5 bags for those boxes. So I just substituted the Ultra Outdoor planting mix. Mainly the difference is that I can tell just very, off the top of my head is that the Ultra Outdoor has bigger chunks of aged pine bark, so to help provide more irrigation. The raised bed mix is a little bit more finer, shall we say, but great. I mean, I have planted annuals in both of them and they do amazing. Like they love this soil. So that's in there. The irrigation is in. That is always fun to put those, whether it's an elbow, a tee, a coupler, it does not matter. Trying to get those on there. Obviously they have to be super tight so they can be watertight. Got those on. And so what I did, so you can see this box right here, I did not do a quote closed system. So I just went down and put an elbow in so that way the pipe can lay nice and flat. Went in and then wrapped it around. And so like I said, it's not a closed system. So all I do is you just, fold back the tubing, and then this is just like really thick electrical tape. And that is what kind of closes it. I don't want it to be a big giant circle, meaning that I don't want this to tie back into, say, this pipe, because it's just, it can be a little bit harder to move the irrigation as where you want it to be. So I'm just thinking about long term. So this way it becomes really pliable and you can kind of twist and turn and make it go where you want to. So all the boxes have the irrigation in. As you can see, they've got the biotone. They've got the slow release fertilizer, because obviously we're putting in a ton of plants. And look, y'all, the bees are already just having a field day with these plants. So I've got one demo box put together, and then not planted, just placed out. And then I got the Amberness box. She is put together as well. So kind of give you a perspective here from the front. So when you're on the steps, this is basically what it will look like. So we've got the baskets on the corners, and then yes, I absolutely jam-packed these unplugged So White salvias in here. And like I'm saying, y'all, these bumblebees, they love this salvia. I mean, literally humming and going in with the petunias and having a great field day. So this will be, quote, kind of easy to plant. And so that's how that's going to look. Now, Are you ready for a color explosion, my friends? Yes, I am jam packing the plants in here because I need these boxes to be gorgeous in a very short amount of time. And the beautiful thing is that I know that I can do that because these boxes, they're the extra tall and they're filled with soil. So it's not like I only have soil for the first 10 inches. Like, they are full. There is going to be unlimited amount of space for these roots to go. So the roots are going to go in, find all that good nutrients, get their own room, and then they are going to just have the most fun together. So let me kind of walk you through here. If you can see the madness in my brain as it comes to fruition. So we've got the sunflowers here in the middle. Then on each side, basically on each side, they're going to be pretty much the exact same to keep it nice and balanced. Then we have the blue suede shoes, again, gorgeous salvia. And then on the end, we have the vermillionaire. So those are basically going to be kind of like my tallest ones. So start with the tallest and work a little bit way down and so forth. Then we've got, of course, the perfectly pink angelonias. So they're on both sides of between the sunflowers and the blue suede shoes. So we have that. A little pop of white on both sides with diamond frost. Then on the front side, we're going to have the yellow portulaca. It is a cloudy day, thank goodness. And so your portulaca is open and closed with the sun. So I have one little bloom that's open, but just imagine pure yellow, and they will trail down, I would say, to about maybe 6 to 8 inches down. So we have those. Now, on all four corners, we have the Sunstar Rose. I love this. Nice, big, bold pop of color. There are 3. So 3 on every corner. And then we have some of the Kufias. So we have that Totally Tempted, richly red. And I really wanted to kind of bring in some purple. So I went up and I grabbed the Vivid Violet. So this is truly just that gorgeous, deep, deep purple, which is going to be really fun because I don't have anything, quote, purple in here. So that will be lovely. So what I did is I've got the red on this one and then red on that side. Purple here, purple there. So they're across from each other. That's the only thing that's, quote, not exactly symmetrical, along with I brought in on the back side. This is where the Evolvulus is. So the blew my mind. 3 of them together. Again, it'll form like a mat, and then they'll hang down about 4 to 6 inches. True, beautiful blue flowers on those guys. So that, my friend, is going to be the recipe for all 4 of these boxes. So what I am going to do, I am just going to set the camera up, have fun. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about like digging because I added all that delicious soil, so it's nice and loose. And I'm just gonna scoop and plop down right in there and get these babies in. I mean, already it makes a huge difference and impact. So we're just gonna have fun. This is the fun part. I love this. Okay, I will see you back here in a little bit and I will show you the whole grand picture when it's all said and done. My friends, today's project is complete. I am a very happy but a very worn out gardener. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Started this project around 8 o'clock as far as gathering all of the plants, but it's done. It's done to 98% completion, and I'm gonna explain where that 2% comes in. The plants though are all in, and I'm telling you, instant garden right here, my friends. I mean, absolutely full and glorious, and they're only going to get better in the coming weeks, the coming months. They're going to be magnificent. The pollinators are already all over them. They are so happy. The bees are buzzing. I had some butterflies out here. I hear the hummingbirds chirping, but with all the activity, they have not yet come to feast upon the flowers. And so, yeah, I mean, there you go. All the boxes are filled in. It's a ton of plants. And y'all, I know that it's like overkill, but I always tell you when you're doing containers to plant for the occasion. And so the occasion is that we have a huge, massive event where people have paid a lot of money to come tour these gardens. And I want to give them something beautiful to look at, not little tiny seedlings coming up that are gonna be gorgeous at the end of the summer, but not while they're here. So, you know, things happen, life happens. We just put a pin in something, you pivot, you change. You just go with the flow around here. There is grace in gardening, and I'm very excited about this. These plants are absolutely going to take off. We're going to give them some water. It's coming in. That's the explanation here. Get them some water. They got plenty of food. The sun is out, and they are going to, like I said, absolutely explode. I did go ahead and get the little hay rack planter right here. Got those osteos out. They were so root bound. I literally picked them up and the entire trough just picked up. So they were ready to come out. The bright lights are a great cool season crop for me. They don't really go through the heat of the summer. This is definitely a hot spot. And so I put Blew My Mind in there. I just filled it with the Blew My Mind. It's gonna, of course, we have that in the boxes. Blew My Mind of Ovulus tends to be very drought tolerant, very low maintenance, very easy peasy. I've got my watering can right there off to the side because this container, of course, is not going to be on irrigation. So I can just give it some water. And plus, when we've got 2 hose links, I've got the traditional like 82-foot one there, and then I have the 100-foot one over here, and they both will reach to this spot. So I can always hit it with the hose link and give it some water, which of course is what I'll have to do if it doesn't rain. And then, yeah, I love this middle box with the Rise Up Amberness. She smells so good. I mean, she smells like a true rose, classic rose fragrance, and it's just beautiful. I got this because I'm sure somebody's gonna ask. I got this obelisk from Trellis, whatever you wanna call it. Ordered it online from H. Potter. And so they have a lot of cool garden stuff. I've got multiple pieces from H. Potter and love them. So there you go on that. The alarm's going off because Emily is home. So yeah, security guards letting us know that she's home. So again, bees have been going nuts over this Unplugged So White, and this is just going to fill in the bumblebees. They were not happy with me when I was planting, and they were just buzzing my little head, and I was like, y'all, I got to get them in the ground, or otherwise you're not going to be very happy. So the bumblebees, like I said, especially are loving that Unplugged So White. Now, what is the part that 2% that is not done? Well, that's the automatic irrigation part. So if you remember when we were doing the install and redoing the cottage garden, Jerry accidentally hit the irrigation line with the, I think it was the excavator. And so that's the PVC pipe. And so of course, excavator and PVC pipe don't really go together. Who's gonna win? Yeah, the excavator wins. So that's what happened. And so when he pulled it, he was actually down below here, and he pulled it here, but what happened is it yanked it all the way up here where the manifold is and all the controls are. So of course we haven't quite had to need it and until I need it. And so he was working on it, and it was a bit of a mess. And so we're gonna let all the glue dry, see if it works tomorrow morning. We're gonna say a prayer that it does, because if he discovered a little hairline crack in another spot, and so he slathered some glue on top of it, we're gonna hope that a miracle happens and that glue just adheres and the water doesn't come out. That's why we're not gonna do it tonight. But if that doesn't adhere and that doesn't seal the crack, then he's gonna have to take it all apart and redo the whole thing, which is not fun. But that whole box right there has all the different zones. So it has the garden boxes, it has Hydrangea Hill, it has the cottage garden, and then it has the new driveway bed. And oh yeah, and then the bed that goes all the way like on the wood line where the azaleas are down there. So it's kind of an important piece of irrigation, and so we got to get that working before the real heat hits. But again, could not be happier with how everything turned out. It was a full day's work, but it is going to have massive rewards. Like I said, it already does, because my little pollinators are all over here and they are quite happy. Of course, we'll keep you updated on how everything progresses. As always, if you have found this fun, informative, or inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. Gardening with Creekside. Y'all have an amazing day. I'm going to go collapse. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.